Check microphone. I am I started early. Started late. Started early. Started late. We're gonna talk about this whoa, I'm probably too loud for y'all is what I am. And chicka chicka chicka. Anyway, we're good now. Oh, I guess I should see if we're live up here though, just to see. Or not worry about it at all. I was going to pull up some videos and then said forget it. We can real quick recap. If you're just catching up, we're going to go through what's taken place in the last 48 hours here in Colorado. If many of you don't know, the Columbine shooting happened on the anniversary's coming up. It happened on April 20th. I should know this by heart, but or April 19th. Oh, it's one of the two. I think it's April 20th. And I should know this. It's craziness is what it is when you start thinking about school shootings, and then this school shooting in particular. But I'm not going to try to explain everything because, to be honest with you, I know about as much as you guys do. But we're going to go back through all the stuff that really has the information, and we're going to look at some journal entries that we've pulled. We're going to watch a couple of videos. And we'll listen to CBI. I listen to Colorado. I think it's CBI. We're going to listen to 420, 20 years ago. That's it, right? Yeah, 420, 20 years ago. Man, it's craziness that 20 years ago was this massive school shooting that still rocks our world today. And we're having a conversation about it, 20 years ago. And I think it's a good thing, right? I think it's a good thing that we have conversations about these things. This is what they talk about when they say if you forget your history, you'll repeat it. The problem is we've continued to repeat this even to the point where there's schools that are not in session today. Right now, as we speak in Colorado, they have canceled schools around the state because of events tied back 20 years ago. So it's this idea of fear and terrorism right amongst us. This is like real stuff that's happening. There are parents around the state that have kept their kids home today because of threats that have happened. Now, all of a sudden, there's all this information coming in, and I'm gonna say a lot of things real quickly, and then we're gonna watch a video. We're gonna watch a video, and then we'll come back and talk about some more stuff. But one of the craziest things that you've heard, that I've heard so far, is that this lady was arrested. She was arrested, and then she was found dead. These are the stories that have been reported in mainstream media. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a video in here, and we'll hope it works, and we'll hope that the whole world stays together as I throw this video in here and it doesn't blow up the system. It might blow up the system though. Sometimes OBS is like, don't do it. And I just downloaded this video from online, so it may still go crazy. We'll find out though, won't we?
I'm also the Public Affairs Officer. Welcome to the FBI Denver Division. We have 3 speakers for tonight for the press conference. We've got our FBI Denver Special Agent in Charge, Dean Phillips, Jefferson County Sheriff, Jeff Schrader, and our Department of Public Safety Director, Stan Hilke. We will also have representatives and executives from other agencies as well, and they will be lined up back behind the three executives that will be speaking tonight. We will have the press conference, and afterwards we're going to have a brief question and answer session, so you may all ask questions very briefly of our executive management. So with that being said, I'd like to welcome our executive management team.
Thank you for being here tonight. My name's Dean Phillips. I first want to start by saying I recognize there is a lot of anxiety in the Denver metro area right now, and we are working this issue. We're going to talk about it a little bit more, but the reason we're having this press conference tonight is to educate the public, educate you, so that we can hopefully relieve some of that anxiety. FBI Miami, our Miami office, learned information this morning about a potential threat to our local community here in Denver. The Miami office passed the information on to the Denver office this morning, and we immediately started assessing the potential threat. We identified Miss Pais as having traveled from Miami. She has made some concerning comments in the past. She has expressed an infatuation with Columbine and the events, the shooting there that happened tragically 20 years ago. And because of that, we were concerned. So we started looking into her actions once she got here. We identified that she departed the airport and went to a store where she did procure a weapon. She obtained a pump-action shotgun and ammunition. She was then taken to an area where she was last seen out towards the foothills. And we have been trying to find her ever since. Because of her comments and her actions, because of her travel here to the state, because of her procurement of a weapon immediately upon arriving here, we considered her to be a credible threat, certainly to the community and potentially to schools. I would like to say that we have no specific information about any specific threat to any particular school. We don't have that sort of credible information, but we do consider her to be a credible threat to the community. I would like to mention at this point that standing behind me, you see some of the representation that we have right now in the law enforcement community. Once we determined that this was a credible threat, we started engaging with our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners in the Denver metro area, and all of them stepped up. This has become a massive manhunt in this AOR, and every law enforcement agency is participating and helping in this effort. We are working diligently, running down a significant number of leads to identify and locate Ms. Pais. We have established a tip line and a website, Vine, that you can make tips to. The tip line is 303-630-6227. You can email tips to Denver FBI Tips, all one word, Denver FBI Tips at FBI.gov.
Repeat that number one more time.
The phone number? Yes. 303-630-6227. I would like to again emphasize our priority in this situation is to try and find Ms. Pais. We again consider this to be a credible threat to the community, but we are working diligently with every law enforcement partner, with our prosecutorial partners to locate and deal with this issue. Now I'd like to welcome and introduce Jefferson County Sheriff Jeff Schrader, who'd like to come up and provide some comments as well.
Good evening, everybody. We take these threats seriously. It's certainly not the first threat that we've had that involves Columbine High School or references it. And in that regard, I know that this opens a wound, especially on an anniversary week, for those families who were most deeply impacted by this. And it's because of those that there are those wounds that people have suffered and still have, not necessarily just throughout the Denver metro area, not just through the Columbine community, but probably in other parts of the country, that there are many people that work diligently day in and day out. Law enforcement professionals, school safety professionals, school administrators that are making the very best decisions they can for the sake of the kids who are in schools each and every day. We want our schools to be a safe place for kids to learn and where they can be productive. And that's why we take this threat seriously today. We have state, local, federal law enforcement partners that are working both behind the scenes and a lot of boots on the ground that are doing what they can to follow up each and every lead that develops, and in some cases physical searches of areas where Ms. Pais may have last been. I'll wait till the Q&A for any additional comment, but I'd like to turn this over to the Executive Director of the Colorado Department of Public Safety, Stan Hilke.
Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Stan Hilke, Executive Director of the Colorado Department of Public Safety. That includes the Colorado State Patrol, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, among other divisions in our department, who are fully engaged with the FBI and with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office in this investigation. In addition to being embedded with the FBI and the Safe Streets Task Force and some of that work, we also have all of our state troopers that are in this area actively engaged in this, as well as our CBI agents that are involved in this as well. I want everybody to know that the governor has been fully engaged in this, has been briefed throughout the day and throughout the evening, and fully supports the FBI in this investigation and has committed our resources to help in this investigation and this manhunt in any way possible. We want to make sure that we're doing that, and that's why there's been an abundance of caution to today with regards to some of the actions that you saw with the schools today. For the plans for tomorrow, one of the things that we're going to be doing following this press conference is having some more communication with superintendents in the Metro District here, as well as our law enforcement partners. As it is a dynamic situation throughout the evening and it can change rapidly, we're going to work with them to try to make the very best decision that we can make with them about what should happen with the schools tomorrow. I don't have that answer for you tonight because again, this is a dynamic situation that can change very rapidly. But we do intend to make sure that we're engaged with the school superintendents, specifically with the Jefferson County School District and the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office and others, and with our law enforcement partners to make the very best decision. I and the governor both want parents to know that we understand that this is a frustrating situation, that we don't have all the answers, and we don't have answers yet about what's going to happen tomorrow at school, but we intend to give that to the school district so that they can make announcements in the middle of the night and early in the morning so that the parents will know what to do. We are holding off on that decision and not announcing that right now because it is changing by the minute. We want everybody to know that Colorado changed 20 years ago when Columbine happened, and a lot of the efforts in that change has produced this kind of cooperation that's taking place, and that cooperation is coming together now to make a very dynamic situation.
What? I'm about to break in here and interrupt this, guys. Sorry about that. I want to bring you into a live video that's happening right now, and I'm going to try to do this. Hopefully this is going to work.
Colorado changed 20 years ago when Columbine happened, and a lot of the efforts in that change has produced this kind of cooperation.
We're going to see if this works.
And that cooperation is coming together now to make a very dynamic fluid situation.
What? I'm about to break in here and interrupt this guy. Sorry about that. I want to bring you into a live video that's happening right now, and I'm going to try to do this. Hopefully this is going to work.
Colorado changed 20 years ago when Columbine happened, and a lot of the efforts in that change has produced this kind of cooperation.
We're going to see if this works.
And that cooperation is coming together now to make a very dynamic fluid situation.
What? I'm about to break in here and interrupt this guy. Sorry about that. I want to bring you into a live video that's happening right now, and I'm going to try to do this. Hopefully this is going to work.
Colorado changed 20 years ago when Columbine happened, and a lot of the efforts in that change has produced this kind of cooperation.
We're going to see if this works.
And that cooperation is coming together now to make a very dynamic fluid situation.
What? I'm about to break in here and interrupt this guy. Sorry about that. I want to bring you into a live video that's happening right now, and I'm going to try to do this. Hopefully this is going to work.
Colorado changed 20 years ago when Columbine happened, and a lot of the efforts in that change has produced this kind of cooperation.
We're going to see if this works.
And that cooperation is coming together now to make a very dynamic fluid situation.
What? I'm about to break in here and interrupt this guy. Sorry about that. I want to bring you into a live video that's happening right now, and I'm I'm so sorry. That was a terrible, terrible experience for the user there. So I will fix all of that as we speak. interrupt one press conference to go to another one, and boom, crash and burns on me. Oh well, if you love me, you're still gonna love me. If you don't love me, you'll get the heck out of Dodge and you'll never come back. But right now I'm pulling that full press conference that just happened. If you missed it, yeah, that was dumb of me. I was trying to break into one press conference to get to this other one, and it didn't work out like I wanted it to. I'm gonna work that out for the next go around. Again, I'm sorry. See if I can get this one to. This one looks like it's gonna download here, so we should be able to play that full press conference from the start. Sorry about that, guys. Killing myself. But what it was, I'm not going to try to get into it because I didn't even get to listen to it. I was trying to fix it. But, I learned from Jay is for Justice on these live videos. And you know how many technical difficulties Jay has. And so where did this sound go? Don't worry, kids. I'm going to fix it. And you're going to you'll be here for a second. You're not going nowhere. We're going to play that whole live press conference that I just screwed up for you. But I'm going to recap some stuff with you just so you know where we're at. The threat in Colorado has been handled. How that threat was handled, we're not 100% sure. This is what we do know, that a woman that the FBI has been watching for a number of things traveled to Colorado. The first thing she did when she got to Colorado was went and bought a pump shotgun. Then the FBI put out an all-out search for her. We were under the impression, because of a media report that we're going to show you in just a little bit, that she was arrested. She was arrested, and they had her in custody. Then the next thing we know, she turns up dead at the base of a mountain. We watched a little bit of a press conference. They were given a background, letting you know what had happened. I interrupted that son of a gun to try to bring you a press conference that was coming live from Columbine, and I screwed up all that stuff. But right now, I'm going to have that press conference up in about the next 10 minutes. But I'm going to fill you in on some stuff. I'm going to show you some pictures. I'm going to show you a couple of journal entries that this woman, Pais, I think her name is what they called her, and I'm gonna do an attempt to read some of these journal entries. Some of them are a little hard to read. Some of them are a little hard to understand in context. But basically, this woman was infatuated. She's a young lady. She's 18 years old. First of all, she's not even when I say a woman, she was a teenager who was infatuated with the guys and the whole 420 Columbine shooting, and so. If you've been sitting under a rock for 20 years, this is basically, I don't know that it definitely wasn't the first shooting, but it was the one that set school shootings off. It was the one that, a couple of kids did a lot of damage, changed family trees from here to the other side of the world. And, the story behind it is been told 100 times from 100 different people. I talked about it with Jay last night on Jay is for Justice. We were talking about this, just anniversaries coming up. We have David Koresh's. A lot of things happen on 420, around 420. People are like, why do people idolize 420? If I told you the rumors of my birthday, my birthday is 420, by the way. My birthday's 420, so if you want to wish me a happy birthday, you can say happy birthday on 420. But even one of my neighbor friends, he thinks the reason why 420 is idolized is because it's a secret conspiracy of Hitler, because Hitler's birthday was on 420. A lot of people consider 420 the smoking holiday because when you were, there was always 420 somewhere and you go smoke out back, or, that was it. I've always looked at 420 as my freaking birthday. So let's see if we can pull some of these while I'm waiting for this video to finish downloading. I've got one download. I'd rather get to the video, but it's downloading right now, and y'all are getting crazy. I just want to know where the party's at. Casey, the party is at the Knob Hill. It's a 420 art jamboree. It's a free event, 21 and up. It's actually going to be emceed by Dad with the Phone, and then there's 25 artists coming together to paint this huge ass mural. There's going to be vendors and music. There's probably like I don't know. There's probably 20 artists that are going to be like hip hop artists. It's in Colorado Springs. And what else you want to know? There you go. It is definitely a cannabis related event. It's 21 and up. It's on 420. So, but that's just because there's crazy people out there that like idolize a seed plant. Oh, the marijuana god plant, and they take over my birthday. It's actually a Dad with a Phone birthday party, and we got special music guests coming in. It's gonna be my party. I'm emceeing the damn thing. No, my buddy has put this together, and I told him I wasn't gonna video it, and he had to do something about the video. And he says, if you're not gonna video it, then you're gonna MC it. And I said, okay, I'll MC it. So it's gonna be the biggest event in Colorado Springs on Saturday for sure. It's partnered up. They got a lot of sponsors and all that nonsense. So, and it's free. It's 21 and up though. Platt Avenue. If you can't find us, then you probably shouldn't come. How about that? If you find Platt Avenue in the Knob Hill, you'll find the 420 Art Jamboree. Look for Platt Furniture. Let's see what else. What else are we doing? I'm trying to get this video, and I'm going to pull up some journal entries. I'm sorry, I totally got off subject. I'm trying to stay on subject. Like I got somewhere to go, but I really don't. Here we go. Let's pull up a journal entry here. We're going to go backwards. There's a lot of like gun pictures and skull pictures and stuff I'm going to show you, but see if we can read this journal entry here. This was her last journal entry dated March 31st, 2019. I think. Yeah, that's when it was dated. Yeah. Includes lyrics to the 9 Inch Nails song. I don't know where they get this. I don't know if she left a journal for him or whatever. But let's see if we can read this. I'm no good at reading, so if somebody wants to translate and type it out, that'd be nice of y'all. I dare somebody. Go for it. Type it out in text, kids, because I can't read that. My wife read it to me, but there you go. You can read it if you want. What's up, Mary? Platt Furniture seems to be a huge central point in a lot in Woodland Park. No. Yeah, no. You're wrong. Let me go back. What's that comment? I gotta fix that because that's not Cheryl T. Platt Furniture is not in Woodland Park. Platt Furniture is in Colorado Springs. You're thinking of Williams Brothers Furniture in Woodland Park. Just to correct you on your comment there, girl. I love it. So if you could read this, I would love for someone to type that out. Yeah, my wife read a little bit of it. I don't know what it looks. I wonder what it looks like on Facebook. Oh, I can make it bigger. Let me make it bigger and see if y'all can read it. Try to get bigger. I'm not sure. See if you can read that. This was her last entry. Now she has a lot of entries dated early on, and she talks about the Columbine shooting and all that. I'm not gonna try to glorify this. I'm interested in a few things in this case because they reported that they arrested her, and then all of a sudden she turns up dead at the base of Mount Evans. So there's a lot of. I'm reading it. I can make out most of it. Betsy, write me a paragraph. Right? I don't think they're gonna let you write out the whole thing. Maybe they will, but I would love to see that in chat if somebody writes out what it is, and that way the people like me who can barely read type can actually understand it. Would be a cool. It's typed out on heavy.com website. Cool. No, I mean, it is what it is. That's the first line. Now I just stare into the sun. Uh-oh. Oh, my husband and I have just traveled through a few times. Catch a show or two. Hubs is a big fan of Hunter S. Thomas. Aspen's beautiful. Oh, Casey already typed it out. Probably did. Don't you love when you go unnoticed? I'm sorry, Casey. You're so funny. Did you type it out, Casey? Oh, here we go. When everything is said and done and there is no place left to run, I think I used to be someone now and I just stare into the sun. Oh. Is that what it says? That's not all it says, right? Let's see if Casey typed it out again. 420 is Leah's wedding anniversary. Happy wedding anniversary, Leah. All right. Video's done, kids. Y'all want to watch? Let's watch this press conference that just happened. No one else is broadcasting it this fast. We'll just hopefully it works. It's 23 minutes. Hang on for a ride. I'm not going anywhere. If y'all didn't know this, I'm here all day, every day, forever and always, right? And maybe never to go away ever again. Ever. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Let's see if this works. And then we'll talk about some more
A lot of
journal
people
entries.
throughout the Denver metro area, information that came into the FBI it did create a significant amount of concern regarding what we believe is a credible threat, or had been a credible threat. And I know as many of you perhaps have already reported even. The FBI recently just confirmed that they have found Ms. Pais deceased from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. And I anticipate that they will be doing a further briefing with details of the entirety of their investigation a little bit later. Our focus over the course of the last 24 hours has been how can we keep our kids safe in schools, and a lot of ongoing conversation with our school safety partners in Jefferson County Public Schools, as well as law enforcement agencies throughout the Denver metro area and school administration right here, with Dr. Glass being heavily involved in conversations throughout that process. Obviously, we are concerned to get kids back to school, and so we're going to continue working with the school district, the school safety team, to make sure that we can do that in a safe manner, and that during this very important week to the Columbine community, that those events are carried off in a safe manner as well.
Thank you, Sheriff Schrader. I'd like to first address the breaking news on this issue by saying that we are relieved that the threat to our schools and community is no longer present, and I want to express deep gratitude to our partners in law enforcement.
I want to express my gratitude to the FBI agents.
Okay, now we're going to move back to our neck of the woods, Surfside Police. There is a live picture right now. They're holding a news conference again. This is where this woman lived. Let's listen.
Probably prevented a tragedy in this situation. We don't have a lot of information. Obviously, there's a lot of distance involved in this investigation. So again, that's really all I have to say at this point. I please ask that you give the family privacy and a little time to grieve. This family contributed greatly to this investigation from the very onset. They provided us valuable information that led us to Colorado and a lot of things that assisted in preventing maybe more loss of life, unfortunately. Thank you to my investigative team in Surfside, and again, especially to the Colorado authorities, both the Miami FBI office and Colorado FBI office for all of their assistance. Thank you.
This is to help you. Chief, you said that the collaboration probably prevented tragedy, but of course there was a tragedy here. I think you meant further tragedy?
Of course.
Yeah.
Everybody was working very hard at preventing additional loss of life. The outcome in Miss Pais taking her own life is a tragedy in and of itself that I, having to notify the family, am experiencing along with them wholeheartedly.
Okay, that was some valuable information there from police there in Surfside where Sol Pais lived. Again, she was a woman, you're right, the 18-year-old who was infatuated with the Columbine massacre, who the FBI said made massive threats. The family, according to Surfside Police there, helped them tremendously and helped the FBI lead them to her in Colorado. Let's go back now to this news conference in Colorado and listen in.
But at the end of the day, it's the right decision, the best decision to protect all of our kids. And to me, that's pretty important. It's critically important to everything that we do. A student that doesn't feel safe in school is not a well-educated student. They can't focus, they can't study, and they can't take that test. So we're blessed in Jeffco, frankly, to have support from 7 different law enforcement agencies that provide us school resource officers that are helping us protect our kids each and every day. I'm very thankful that this threat is over and we can get back to the business of learning. But we know that Columbine continues to attract people from around the world. And if I have any message, we're not a place to come visit if you're not a student. If you don't have business there, we're not a tourist attraction, and we're not a place for you to come and gain inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. And now we'll open it up to questions. Yes, right here.
Can you describe the circumstances surrounding the death of Ms. Pais? Were agents actively involved in pursuing her at the time when she took her own life?
I don't have that information, but I believe she was found on a search. But again, the FBI will be doing a more comprehensive briefing. They're currently processing the scene where her body was found to determine all of the factors that would lead to those conclusions. I don't know if she was, I don't believe that they were in active pursuit at the time that she was found dead, but again, they'll confirm that and the details surrounding it.
All right, so that concludes pretty much the news conference there in Colorado. Again, here we are nearly on the heels of this anniversary of the 1999 anniversary of the Columbine massacre, when the FBI says and other police authorities say that they have found the woman after this massive manhunt that they were looking for. Sol Pais, 18 years old, went to Miami Beach High, lived in Surfside, but earlier in the week flew from Miami to Colorado, bought a shotgun, the FBI says, and ammunition. The family, according to Surfside Police, really really helped lead the FBI to her. They found her in a remote area of Colorado in the foothills, they say, where she took her own life. We'll have more on this story on 7 News at 4. I'm Lynn Martinez. Now back to programming.
This has been a 7 News special report. We now
Well, for me, looking at school shooters and the history of what we've seen for the last 20 years, you know, there's some real indicators that we look at. The fact that she was committed, purchased a plane ticket, not only purchased a plane ticket, but made that journey, that pilgrimage to Columbine. Once she got into our area, purchased a gun. No, I say
Nobody can hear me right now. I've been reading and talking to the damn. See how much I love my callers. They just call in and tell me, Dad, you're not reading text.
It's been going on for quite a few
I know,
days
right?
now.
Since I've been reading all that stuff. I'm so sorry, kids. Well, thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron, for calling me and letting me know. Well, I feel like I should like send you a T-shirt, like as a win. I just showed up now. Now I can hear myself. Oh, that's so funny. Well, thanks for calling me, Aaron.
Absolutely.
All right.
Hey, and
Yeah.
on a totally unrelated note, and I don't know if you figured out with the Google map, I was wondering if Dane's father, Ronald, maybe he did the mail order bride thing too? In that picture.
Oh yeah, so you're talking about maybe like he had done it too. I don't know that. Well, the picture from the Google Map thing, we clarified it both from. I don't know if you watched the whole video, but we had Gypsy's sister, one of her sisters. Gypsy is the oldest of 5, and one of Gypsy's sisters said, "No, that's not my sister," and so it was probably just another couple, and it just happened to be an Asian lady. And then when we looked closer on some Google imagery that wasn't on my Google Pro account, it was on just Google Maps. The picture was clear, and you could tell that it wasn't Dane.
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah, we should look in to see if perhaps Ronald does the same thing.
Yeah, it would be interesting to know if Ronald has. We were trying to get a hold of Dane's mother, but Dane's mother, I don't believe is. I don't know if Dane's mother. I'm pretty sure Dane's mother is not like a mail order bride, but he does. He has had like an ex. He does have an ex-wife, and I wonder if he has remarried and did like some sort of escort website dating. We call it a mail order bride, and I don't mean that to be offensive by anything of the imagination. We're looking at that more. I look at that more from a standpoint of the man, right? It's not necessarily a reflection of the women that these men are marrying, and so these women are doing whatever they can to survive in life, and so. I just want to make that clear because I use the term mail order bride too as well, but it's not that on the bride side. I mean, they know what they're getting into and they know what they're signing into because they're kind of loopholing the immigration thing.
Right.
And so, but I am sure that, I mean, everyone has heard Dane's father. We can never put that telephone call back in the bottle. Now, I can say that YouTube was writing me some letters, and so I had to talk about that. But that phone call will never go back in the bottle, and we all know who Dane. We all know the kind of person Dane was raised by.
Exactly.
And so
that's what I was thinking. Maybe the dad does something similar.
Yeah,
The same regard for life because they view it as, hey, I'm sponsoring them, I'm doing them a favor, kind of arrogance type of thing. We should look into that later.
Yeah, well, I will definitely look into it. Thanks for bringing that up, and thanks for calling me and letting me know about my idiotic technical difficulties.
It's okay.
All right.
We can get back to this case.
Yes, we'll get back. All right. Thanks.
All right, bye.
Well, the good thing probably that you... Sorry about that, guys. I am really sorry. I want to say one thing to V.A. Morris. I think you're absolutely correct. It is a survival for them. And so when you hear the term mail order bride, I am simply speaking from the man's perspective on that. I'm actually going to remove this picture right now because I want you guys to look at me when I'm saying this because I don't want it to be something that is taken out of context. I'm talking about the guy's side of things. These dudes are raised by guys like Ronald. They will never find a beautiful woman to marry. And so this new thing that we call the internet has given people the ability to create websites and put together women from around the world. I could care less. We're on the other case, but it's not as important as this case. If you're just joining because of something else, we were actually just talking about this case. And I know that this case isn't the case you came to this YouTube channel to talk about, but who cares? So we're talking about this right here. And when I say mail order bride, I mean zero disrespect to Gypsy. Because as VA has said in the chat, and as I will say it, sometimes these women were dealt the hand they were dealt, and this is survival for them. And so now let's get back to this not so survival woman. Let's get back to this woman who's infatuated with a bunch of crazy kids. She comes to Colorado. She buys a shotgun. She's been on. This is what you missed in the time that I was off the air and my audio was off. I'll go back and read. I want to read some stuff. Let's start with some things. Sol Pais, who authorities say expressed an infatuation with Columbine and bought a pump shotgun once she arrived in Colorado, appears to have sought advice on a gun forum. And I was reading some gun forum questions. So she, in Florida, she writes this question in a gun forum. And so I want you to understand this, that the FBI had been watching her. I don't know if it was her family members who turned her in, but she had this diary. And we're going to read some diary. I'm going to read some stuff that was written in her diary. We put up a quote from her last journal entry, but I want to read through some other stuff. But first, I want you to understand that she had been planning a trip here and at least a month prior, and she had been on these online forums. And so while she had been on these online forums, she was seeking out different information about things in Colorado. And one of these things was this. She said, Florida resident, this is her on the forum. I have a question about a non-Colorado resident buying a shotgun. That's the title of this question. Florida resident here. I'm planning to trip to Colorado in the next month or so, and I want to buy a shotgun while I'm there. And I was wondering what restrictions apply to me. I found a few private sellers I might want to purchase from. Is it legal for me as a Florida resident to purchase a shotgun in Colorado? I'm 18 years old too, if that's important. She says, thank you for reading. Appreciate any response. And she got some responses and got some information. I think the FBI was watching this, and different things. I want to... She has a journal that she has been keeping and entering in on this journal. And one of September 18th journal entry reads, I wish I could distance myself from everybody in this fucking world, as far away as possible from the poison that is the human race. I can't stand anybody that surrounds me. I don't want to hear any more human voices. Only about 10 of them or less that I can stand to be around. But only one voice I truly want to hear every day, and yet I can't. Life is merciless, and I will always question why the universe decided to create humans. Now I just stare into the sun and I see everything I have done. I think I could have been someone, but I can't stop what has begun. Her last journal entry was dated March 31st, 2019. The entry includes the lyrics to a Nine Inch Nails song, Supporters, and is signed Sol Pais. That's the one I put up earlier. After purchasing the weapon, Paris was then taken to an area where she was last seen towards the foothills, and we've been trying to find her ever since. Authorities said we do consider her to be a credible threat to our community. Authorities said it's not the first time they've had a threat involving Columbine. They said they recognize the situation with Sol Paris is opening a wound that people have suffered. Early in the day, Colorado authorities revealed that they had received a potential credible threat against Columbine and other schools. Short time later, they revealed they were looking for Sol Pais in connection with the threat. They later added, correction, on their info we released earlier today. Sol Pais, she was last seen last night, not today, in Colorado. And so there is some information. There was a report. Let me see if I can find it here. I want to try to find this report. So, according to CBS Denver, on the morning of April 17th, that Pais had been arrested and taken into custody. A CBS reporter, Mechalon White, later tweeted that Paris was dead. So there was today, this morning, someone first said that she had been taken into custody, and then they tweeted later that she had been killed. A South Florida teenager allegedly infatuated with Columbine Massacre and its perpetrators was the subject of a massive manhunt in Colorado after authorities said a potential credible threat led Columbine schools and other schools to go on lockdown mode. So this happened, and this is just a catch up. If you're just joining the live, we're just catching up. We've been all over the place this today actually, but we're just catching up on this. We watched a few press conferences. We hit an hour, and we're gonna kick off in here. This whole thing is weird because they've been watching this girl for a little bit. This isn't something that just started. It's not something that just happened. I don't know. But sometimes when I see this stuff, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know for a fact that this is some sort of weirdness, but it is a weird story. It is a story that we don't understand necessarily because the facts have been coming from every which way. And so, yeah, her blog is crazy disturbing. I just read a few excerpts of it, and it's a nuts. And I don't understand a lot of the handwriting ones, so that's why I got some people to send me the handwriting ones. So, but what we do know now, what we have figured out, is that she has taken her life, or her life was taken. We do know that she was able to purchase the firearm legally here in the state of Colorado. She did nothing illegal to purchase that firearm, by the way. That firearm was purchased legally. But to me, this sounds like, when I read these journal entries, not only is it weird and she's infatuated with some things, but this is a hurting girl. This girl's hurting. This girl has decided to get to a point where she doesn't want to exist anymore. She's lost all self-preservation, and then she decides she wants to go out with a bang. People are sending me text messages, you crazies. All of a sudden, my phone blows up. Sorry about my audio issues. I was going back and forth between things, trying not to get the echoes going. But that's why we're not really official yet. We're kind of not official yet. as far as full time, because that really doesn't kick off till next week. But so we're just working out all the glitches. Dad with a phone. If you haven't already subscribed, hit subscribe. Not that I really care, but you can always. Those are free, by the way. Subscriptions are free. You don't even have to pay for those. Everything else I charge for. I'm just kidding. How did she suicide with a pump shotgun? Honey, I know plenty of people that have decorated their walls with a shotgun, and it's not pretty. But, there's quite a few. I mean, depending on how big that shotgun was, depending on whether she altered that shotgun, depending on whatever. But, yeah, you can decorate your walls with a pump shotgun. Trust me. Their blog is a weird 1990s site. 5 fast facts you need to know. What are the 5 fast facts? Tell me some 5 fast facts. I've been looking into these journal entries. Yeah, they're nuts. True Crime Truth Finder. What's up? Thanks for joining today. Plus, y'all can call in now. Y'all know that, right? Oh, wait. No, y'all can't call. Y'all can call in on the phone. If y'all missed the call earlier today, we made a phone call to the Colorado Springs Police Department. That phone call's online, I think, somewhere. Facebook maybe. And we try to get an update on Gypsy's case. But not much to update, even to the fact where they are not officially looking at this as a homicide yet. I know that's what you heard on the news. I know that's what mainstream media reported. I'm sorry. I'm sorry they lied to you. I know we're fake news because we're on the interweb, but yet the news source can't call. They can't call up the cops like I can. And so he even thought he confused me with a retired police officer, which means we got some retired cops that are looking into this. But he remembered Dad with a phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're Dad with the phone." So, but if you missed that call, you should go back and listen to it because it is really particular. And I don't even pull no punches with law enforcement. I was like, "Man, I called you last time and you said you were talking to the family, and I talked to the family and they said you haven't been talking to them. So what's the deal?" So we ask him a tough question or two. We try to be respectful, but we're trying to find out what's really going on with the Gypsy case. So if you're just joining in, join us later. Thanks for watching. My name's Michael. They call me Dad with the phone. Hey, did you know the average watch time right now is 15 minutes? That's pretty good for YouTube and an hour-long video, especially because y'all supposed to be working right now. So y'all need to get back to work. Average watch time, 15 minutes.